What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So it's Saturday. I hope everybody's having a really great start to their weekend. If we have a look at what is going on today, check this out. This is a first. I've never seen Bitcoin sitting at 0.00%. I know this is something so mundane to get excited over, but when you look at the same picture every day, something different definitely gets you excited. Also, it really goes to show how Bitcoin has really lost its volatility. I mean, this is probably the most stable I've ever seen Bitcoin since I've started paying attention to it. So very interesting, not too much going on in the markets. Oh, before we move on, I forgot to mention, I have yet another Bridge Protocol USB drive. It's 8 gigabytes. Yes, I got my hands on one more for you guys. So if you want to win this, just drop a comment below. Actually, let's make this fun. How about this? Shill me your coins, guys. But seriously, tell me what coin you are most bullish or excited on and why. Okay? And if you do that, I'll do a random picker and you win the USB. Sound fun? I think it'll be fun. So, moving on to the actual coin market cap, we see that we're sitting at $218 billion. Bitcoin sitting around 6,596. Not much movement, up about 1% in dominance, really. So when we have a look at the biggest gainers of the day, we have Maker up 15%, Loom 13%, Digix DAO 8%, Electroneum, Bitcoin Gold, Noah Coin, Walton Coin, MOAC, Tezos, Nexo, and Digibyte. Now, going back to our wedge that we have that's been sitting here for quite some time, we are definitely getting closer and closer to this breakout point. Are we going up? Are we going down? That's to be decided. I think we're going up, but what do I know? Don't listen to me. I'm just a guy on the internet. The only thing that I know is when it starts to look like Bart Simpson's hairline, we're either going to the moon or we're taking a dump. That's just from experience. Okay. Now, let's get back to this crypto poll that was done by Tom Lee from Fundstrat. I was speaking about this the other day, but I realized I kind of skipped over some other aspects of it. So the one thing I wanted to point out was on number 3 of 6, it actually says, when do you think Bitcoin will bottom? And 44% of the votes say that they believe Bitcoin has already hit a bottom. Now, keep in mind, this is 5,679 votes. So that's a lot of votes. I mean, I usually only get around like 200, 300 on mine. So that's pretty incredible. Also, I wanted to point out one other interesting thing. So when we talk about Coinbase growth update, it says they've added 5 million users in the last 6 months, and they now have 25 million. So that's an average of 25,000 users a day. Okay. Why am I bringing this up? Well, here's the really interesting statistic. So there's 25 million users on Coinbase. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in the world. So that means that all the Coinbase users could not own one Bitcoin. That's crazy. And consider the fact that there's an estimated of, I don't know, the number changes every day, but like around 5 million, let's say, lost forever because people lost their private keys or threw out old computers and stuff like that. So that really puts it into perspective. And that's another reason that I am definitely really excited about this moving forward. Now, the one thing I wanted to point out too is according to that study from Tom Lee, or the poll, 72% of institutional investors believe that cryptocurrency prices would actually rise in the case of a global recession. This is mainly due to the belief that non-governmental and retail market-related investments would be seen as a safe haven due to their distance from traditional markets. The other thing, too, I wanted to bring up was they did have a discussion about XRP. So basically, it says that the survey also had a few interesting conclusions, finding that investors believe governmental and central bank adoption is the main influential factor in the markets, and that the market is incredibly split on the usefulness of XRP. 46% chose XRP as their favorite, and 31% said it made the least amount of sense. No other token came close. Even 28% of institutions also said XRP made the least sense, and 0 institutions picked it as their favorite token. That is an interesting statistic moving forward. However, we do know that when listening to these experts, always take it with a grain of salt. As you can see right here, this is literally one day apart. It could get really bad. Bitcoin expert warns of imminent drop in cryptocurrency price. The next day, Bitcoin surges as cryptocurrency expert predicts currency could rocket. So I think the only thing that this guy is an expert of is changing his mind. Moving on. Here's something interesting to consider. If time is money and you can't print more time, then that means you can't print more money, which means fiat isn't money, Bitcoin is money, because you can't print more Bitcoin. Therefore, time is Bitcoin?
Whoa.
So let's talk about recently. Goldman Sachs-backed blockchain firm Circle has stated that 6 new organizations have joined the bandwagon in supporting the platform's newly launched stablecoin, USD Coin, or USDC as the ticker. So these companies include Hand Bitco, an EOS-friendly exchange, Everbloom, a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange for ERC20 tokens, Dispatch Labs, a blockchain accelerator, Hasera, a platform that builds enterprise-grade blockchains, digital wallet provider BitUN, and Kobo, a cryptocurrency wallet. So a lot of people are dissing on all these stable coins that are coming out, but it really just comes down to adoption. Which one are we using the most? I mean, it's funny because most people hate on Tether, but that's the one that they use the most. So it really just comes down to adoption with these stable coins pretty much. Now, I wanted to talk about some coin news, and I wanted to start off with the biggest, which is Ethereum being number 2. For now, until XRP, battles it out again. But anyway, so we have Vitalik preparing to detach himself from Ethereum. So this is in a series of tweets that he put out right here. Somebody said, Vitalik, any thoughts on how you will eventually detach yourself? He says, already in progress. Watch the repos. Even much of the research is being done by these guys right here. He says, I think Ethereum can absolutely survive me spontaneously combusting tomorrow at this point. He has not offered a timeline on when he might take that back seat. Now, obviously, he's being funny, but, we did see what happened with Charlie Lee when he sold all of his Litecoin. People, unfortunately, it works for Bitcoin, Satoshi being anonymous, but a lot of these other projects really heavily rely on the people that are sort of their figureheads, like we had, Dahong Fei for Neo, clearly Vitalik, Justin Sun for Tron. I could go down the list, okay? So we've kind of attached ourselves to these figureheads, and I wonder if he left, what that initial impact would be. I don't really know. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, if the ecosystem was so big to the point where it wouldn't need him, then, it probably already is at that point. But I think a lot of people would be a little upset, to say the least. So let's talk about another coin that a lot of people are definitely excited about, and that's Cardano. So they now have Cardano Rust Project, which is the software development kit for the platform blockchain. So to elaborate, the team describes it as a toolbox of Cardano's cryptographic primitives for third-party developers written in the Rust programming language. Consequently, it has to be open source, blazingly fast, and compile in platform popular with third-party developers. The aim is to open up the Cardano blockchain to host of third-party developers, helping fast-track decentralization. So essentially, these are the tools that are available right here. This is the update, so I'm just bringing it to you. You can go and read a little more. You have the Cardano package, you have the Cardano C package, you have the Cardano CLI, you have Hermes package, Cardano network protocol, and Cardano storage library. So if that's something that interests you, I will drop a link to that below. We also have Chainlink has announced that the first 5 officially working oracles are now online. We've been waiting for this. It's been over a year. So these 5 oracles are going to track cryptocurrency price, flight, and shipping data. So Chainlink's network is now fully functional on Ethereum's Ropsten and Rinkenby test networks, which are public environments where developers can test and deploy blockchain applications without having money or infrastructure at stake. Now, I had a little bit of a concern myself with these oracles because I worried about human error or human manipulation, right? Like, okay, so the oracles speak directly to the real world via, I don't know, APIs or something, right? But the question is who's inputting the data into those? Well, this paragraph kind of like sums it up a bit and kind of helped me to understand it. So it says the implications of decentralized Oracle technology could be huge for decentralized platforms like Ethereum. Currently, Oracle's external data sources are centralized, meaning they fetch data from a single API, which can be prone to manipulation. That was exactly what I had an issue with. So it says, especially when digital assets are at stake. Solutions like Chainlink would allow data to be trustlessly verified. For example, rather than trusting a single source for weather, the network would source dozens, if not hundreds, of high accuracy sources to ensure maximum data integrity. So look to these oracles. Look to these oracles. They're definitely going to be the connector from those smart contracts to the real world. Also, just wanted to give a really quick update on Oyster. So they've actually upped their storage limit. So it's now 125 megabytes and it used to be 25 megabytes. So I just kind of wanted to report on that. You can now host more with the storage. So there you go. Also wanted to talk about a DEX that a lot of people have been talking about that is coming out this Wednesday, and that is Aphelion Mainnet DEX launching. So they have some important notes down here to discuss. The one thing I wanted to point out was that we have seen an 18% increase in Aphelion, so a lot of people are getting excited about this. Now, I noticed that Aphelion is sitting at around a $3 million market cap. Now, I compared that to what I consider to be its closest competitor, which would be Switcheo, which only has a $4 billion market cap. So, assuming that it reaches Switcheo, I mean, it only has another 1 million. I think I said billion. I meant to say million, guys. 1 million market cap. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, is the hype over? Is it going to overtake it? I mean, if I give it a quick refresh, let's see. Okay, it's actually up. So there you guys go. I don't know. Do what you want with this. I'm just bringing it to you. I mean, we could see that surge. I mean, if we look back at Switcheo even, you know, I don't know. If it follows the same pattern, just be careful, guys. Just be careful. But I wanted to bring that up to you. Also, speaking of DEXs, you have Bithumb planning to launch their DEX to increase global conversion, potentially going up against Binance. Bithumb's pretty big. It's pretty large, not going to lie. But Binance has really been cranking it out lately, so which one? Which one? I don't know. Personally, I think we're going to see a lot of DEXs. I think we're going to see a lot of exchanges. You know, I had an interview with Blockchain.io. They're an exchange that's coming out as well. They're, you know, branched off of Paymium. You have all the, there's so many exchanges I could think of off the top of my head. There's Wadex coming out. Then you have all the main ones with their DEXs. So I think that exchange BGogo is another one. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of exchanges. Are they all going to survive? Probably not. You know, I mean, people are probably going to go where the liquidity is unless they can figure out how to get more liquidity in these DEXs, which we are going to look to these other solutions like Loopring or Kyber or things of that nature. So, oh, well, look at this. Speaking of giants, we have Bitmain. So open source browser-based cryptocurrency wallet Telescope has officially announced its acquisition by Bitmain Technologies Incorporated, which is interesting because wasn't one of the problems was that Bitcoin Cash had depreciated so much in value that they lost all this money, and I don't know. Anyway, Telescope is a browser-embedded cryptocurrency wallet that currently allows users of Google, Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox to send and receive Bitcoin Cash through a browser extension. Speaking of Bitcoin Cash, I had the extremely cringeworthy experience of watching this debate between Roger Ver and Charlie Lee. My honest opinion, Charlie Lee is not the greatest of speakers. Sometimes he seems to have difficulty getting his point across, but he's clearly a very intelligent person, as is Roger. However, Roger comes across as a pompous asshole. He literally cuts Charlie off all the time, and I don't know. I just watch this for yourself, but I think it's almost like you ever just watch something and you get embarrassed watching it? That's how I feel. And I wonder if Bitcoin Cash would have more of a chance if they didn't have this guy at the forefront just being so smug all the time. I mean, listen, thumbs down if you don't agree, but listen, watch the video, man. The guy just acts like a total jerk. So, I mean, just go watch it for yourself, Anyway, speaking of not Bitcoin Cash, let's talk about actual Bitcoin. So they're saying that they might be able to increase block size without hard forking. Now, I don't know if this just relates specifically to block size. Could we also look into other things? I know there's Mimble-Wimble technology that people have spoken about, but we do know that unfortunately now, anytime we want to make a change to Bitcoin, we have to fork, which is why we had so many forks come out. We had Bitcoin Gold, we had Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Cash. There was all these other ones too, like Bitcoin God, and it was just ridiculous. So anyway, some are dubbing it a breakthrough and others are calling it a network attack. So those were the prevailing opinions leading up to Mark Friedenbach's much anticipated talk at Scaling Bitcoin Friday, where the Blockstream co-founder presented for the first time forward blocks. That's what they're called. A proposal that claims to make future contentious changes to Bitcoin, such as block size increase or proof of work changes, easier to do. So most of the scaling debate is wrapped up in the issue of how to do a hard fork safely and when, if ever, we should do a fork for scaling purposes. So forward blocks makes that whole argument pointless. He says, we don't need a hard fork to scale Bitcoin. If and when we decide to do so, it can be accomplished as a soft fork like SegWit was. So essentially, this is a fork mashup. So How do forward blocks work? Well, in his paper, Friedenbach describes the change as a sort of mashup of a variety of types of forks. He says, while each of these approaches individually have unacceptable trade-offs, it turns out remarkably that by combining them all together, it cancels out most of the bad trade-offs while retaining the combined benefits. So the resulting scheme, held together by a novel new mechanism we call forward blocks, is actually less complicated than one may think of. And everything in the kitchen proposal, the paper goes on. Some people are saying, is it just another tool? It's a network attack being called an upgrade. Longtime pseudonymous Bitcoin developer Shinobi Monkey told CoinDesk, in fact, he has harsh words for the Scaling Bitcoin conference where the paper was proposed in general. He says this event needs to be eviscerated, ridiculed, and drowned in the bathtub. Well, we'll have to see how that works out moving forward. Now, here's something interesting. This is called a year around the world on just one Bitcoin. So it's 18 countries, 12 months, and one Bitcoin. So basically, Raphael Hawksley compiled 178 hours of footage and 28 interviews during an incredible one-year journey around the world. He purchased Bitcoin at around $4,724 over a year ago, and he rode the roller coaster all the way up and all the way down. Now, he has this thing over here on YouTube. You can see right here, it's Bitcoin Around the World documentary. This is only a 3-minute promo pitch, but you could see him right here. He's meeting up with different people. He's obviously recording everything, and he's looking for, John McAfee, Vitalik, there you go. So he's basically looking for donations. He wants to turn this into a full-fledged actual documentary, and yeah, so, I mean, have a look at it. If you want to get involved, I mean, see how you can support this guy. I guess he's just taking straight-up donations. He doesn't have like a GoFundMe type thing or anything like that, but definitely have a look into that. I think that's pretty cool. Another big story that was really circulating around was Yale University has said to invest $400 million in Paradigm Crypto Fund. So this is according to an anonymous source, okay, which let's just take it for what it is, cited in a Bloomberg report on Friday that, while yet to be confirmed, the Ivy League institution is said to have invested in a major crypto fund set up by Fred, I don't know how to say his last name, Coinbase co-founder. So Matt Huang, a former partner at Sequoia Capital, and Charles Noyes, who previously worked at Pantera Capital. The report suggests that Yale, which boasts second largest endowment among educational institutions globally, valued at $25.4 billion in 2016, according to Wikipedia, was among investors that helped the Paradigm raise over $400 million in the last several months. Paradigm aims to invest in early-stage cryptocurrency, blockchain, and exchange projects. Today's report said that the scale of Yale's investment in the fund was unknown, and that the university had not responded when contacted for a comment. However, they do note that there was an update that Yale's chief investment officer, David Swenson, has also invested for the university in Andreessen Horowitz, $300 million crypto fund. So there you go. Now we got Yale getting involved in crypto. We also have a study that comes out saying that high-earning millennial men are most interested in crypto investing. Kind of not surprised based on my YouTube analytics. That's where most of my audience tends to fall. I mean, granted, I don't know your income, but I definitely know your age and your gender. So I'm not disagreeing with that. And before we get going, I wanted to just say, my goodness. So I put this tweet out on October 2nd, and I said that I'm looking to do some coin videos. I feel like I've been doing a lot of interviews and news and live streams, but I really haven't done a lot of reviews. Mainly because I just want to know what you guys are interested in. So kind of part of the fun of me telling you to shill your coin in the beginning of this video. But ultimately, I am interested in what you guys would like. And I got 271 responses on this so far. I'll drop the tweet one more time if you want to have your voice heard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to painstakingly go through all of these answers, and I'm going to compile like the top 5 coins or something like that. And I will be rolling out those reviews over the next weeks or so, just to say thank you guys and, basically cover what you want me to cover, because ultimately you're the most important thing to this channel for me. Obviously, you guys, without you, this channel wouldn't be anything. So I want to say thanks again so much for coming back to the channel, liking, subscribing, and commenting. If you guys want to win a Bridge Protocol, just, drop me a comment below. What's your favorite coin? Why? And that being said, it's Saturday, guys. As you guys know, Sundays I take off because I just get so far behind. So no news video tomorrow, but it's okay, I have a lot of work to do, and we're going to figure out these reviews, and on Monday, I'll have the results for who won. That being said, once again, guys, you're freaking amazing. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you rule. That's it for me. I'm out. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. Enjoy your weekend. And peace out.